In this video, we're going much further down the rabbit hole and exposing some of the shameful actions of Twitter's past management. This is something that hits quite close to home. I personally have been shadow banned by Twitter for absolutely no reason, without explanation, without even being informed, and the only way that I realized this, I did some digging, used a service to tell me whether or not my account had been shadow banned. It just so happened at the exact same time that this occurred, I'd been publicly criticizing Twitter for censorship, shadow banning and fact-checking people. Obviously, it was a total coincidence. It's not like there was a magic button that somebody at Twitter pushed on my account to say, "F this guy, he said something we don't like, let's make his account stop reaching people." Because that would never happen, would it? Maybe it would. Now, I know there's a few people, come on dude, just talk about Tesla, man, I don't give a f*** about this stuff. Great, if that's you, cool, but here's something important to understand. Did you know that in order for me to talk about Tesla, I need to be allowed to talk about Tesla? And guess what? This phenomenon of shadow banning, stopping accounts and users reaching others, isn't just an exclusive Twitter phenomenon. It applies more broadly across the big tech world. Yes, that includes YouTube. In fact, just reading this tweet thread may put my YouTube account at risk. If one woke moron working at YouTube, and yes, I'm talking to the woke moron watching this video right now, thinking, oh geez, does that policy, can we kick him off the platform right now because he said, I'm talking to you. One woke moron, pressing a button, bang, account's gone. I understand a lot of you guys and girls just want to focus on Tesla shit. I get it, but this is so important, it needs to be discussed. Just imagine that YouTube decided to ban any discussion about Tesla, or ban me from saying Tesla has an unassailable lead. Now, you might think that's insane. Why would they do that? Yes, it is insane. Why would they do that? That should also be the title of today's video, regarding Twitter's secret blacklists. That's insane. Why would they do that? Well, we're going to answer that question in today's video. And for the record, this is the kind of stuff, the rabbit hole, I often go down on Patreon. Often, I have no choice but to post these videos exclusively to Patreon, because were I to say the things out loud that I say on Patreon here on YouTube, my account would be instantly banned. I'm not kidding. If you're not already a member, I highly recommend joining Patreon. That is, of course, if you're ready to take the red pill, open your eyes and see reality for what it is, rather than continuing to live in delusion and blindness. So, time to read through this extremely damning tweet thread. And by the way, I've noticed an interesting phenomenon. As with the media downplaying the whole suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story, the narrative on this is amazing. Flipped, done a complete 180. A year ago, 2 years ago, Twitter doesn't shadow ban people, they're not suppressing. What do you talk as if that would happen, man? Come on, that's a conspiracy. Fucking take off your tinfoil hat. Now, they've always been doing that. Look, here's their policy about suppress. I mean, it's always been the case. Didn't you know? We already knew. Let's read on. And I do understand that this may not directly apply to a lot of people watching. You probably don't all have social media accounts with reasonable reach, so it's not super relevant. Just imagine, try to imagine, put yourself in the shoes of a creator, a journalist, anybody, a doctor, somebody who has an audience, has a reach, and behind the scenes, a tech company like this is meddling with their ability to reach people and not even telling them what has happened. As I said, I have personally experienced this on Twitter. I've been shadow banned out of nowhere, directly after criticizing Twitter publicly around censorship and suppression of ideas. You can't make this shit up. It literally happened. Total coincidence, of course, though. Right? So let's read on. A new Twitter Files investigation reveals that teams of Twitter employees build blacklists, prevent disfavored tweets from trending, and actively limit the visibility of entire accounts or even trending topics, all in secret, without informing users. And this is the super fucked up part, okay? I understand there has to be some mechanisms for deboosting certain content. I understand the reason. If something's going super viral and some disgusting gore pictures or something like that, I understand. However, being able to do this to accounts and doing so in secret and doing so based on your own biases and agenda rather than trying to do, this is the problem. Doing this shit behind closed doors, this is a problem because nobody knows it's happened to their account. And worse, there's no rhyme or reason or consistency to, I'm just kidding, there's lots of consistency to the way this is enforced. We don't like that opinion, enforced. We do like that opinion, leave their account alone, maybe even amplify it. And I know this sounds conspiratorial and tinfoil hat, but it ain't. We're going to look more into this throughout the tweet thread. Please stick around. It's so important. You've got to understand. It's such an important video. I know people who aren't super interested are going to switch off, but you need to wake the up, guys. Really. This is one of those videos you need to watch because you need to, not because you want to. Twitter once had a mission, quote, to give everyone the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. Along the way, barriers, nevertheless, were erected. 3. Take, for example, Stanford's Dr. J, can't pronounce that last name, not even going to try, sorry, who argued that the lockdowns would harm children. I kind of feel like I might have done the same thing. Twitter secretly placed him on a trends blacklist, which prevented his tweets from trending. Now, excuse me for a moment while I let the horror of this sink in. A doctor sharing his personal opinion, by the way, a valid personal opinion, about potential harm to children had his account suppressed. He's trying to raise flags, raise the alarm. Hey guys, this could harm children. Please, here's my reasoning. Just at least think about this. Come on. Next minute, Twitter decides, nope, this guy can't trend. We can't have people discussing this. We can't have people seeing this. F this guy. And look, here's an actual screenshot. This is insane. This is the account snapshot, the internal Twitter bullshit, right? Account active. recent abuse strike, trends blacklist, okay? This is literally Twitter's shadow banning tool. Now, some dickhead in the comments is going, okay, it's not the shadow banning tool, it's shadow banning tool, okay? Call it whatever you want. This is the shadow banning tool, the suppression tool, the censorship tool, the interfering in the democratic process tool. Or consider the popular right-wing talk show host, Dan Bongino, who at one point was slapped with a search blacklist. Again, let's just look at the screen cap, okay? Behind the scenes, Twitter's shadow banning tool. Account is verified, account is active. The second lot of tags here is how Twitter has meddled with this account. Notification spike, they have an AI detecting a large number of notifications relating to an account. Oh, this account's getting a lot of attention. Let's look at it and make sure that we want this account to be getting attention. Next minute, search blacklist. Now, some people are unaware of this. A search blacklist means you can't even search for the fucking account. It doesn't exist. It vanishes. This is the same shit, by the way, that YouTube occasionally will do as well. Is it ever reasonable to enact a search blacklist on an account on Twitter? Let me know in the comments below. Can you think of any scenarios in which this will be reasonable? To prevent people from even searching from a legitimate account on Twitter. They can't even see the account on Twitter. Hey bro, you should follow this Dan Bongino guy. He's really cool, man. Okay, cool. Yeah, what's the account? Debugger, let me search for it. Oh, I can't find it. I can't follow the account. That's weird, isn't it? This is not fucking cool. 5. Twitter set the account of conservative activist Charlie Kirk to do not amplify. I mean, this shit is just, hello. What the fuck? Again, these are tags, right? Verified account, active account, and now Twitter's meddling. The second lot of tags, recent abuse strike, notification spike, multiple account strike count 0, do not amplify. At the same time that this shit's going on, Twitter are publicly claiming there's no such thing as shadow banning. They don't shadow ban. I'm not kidding, by the way. We'll get to that later in this video. Oh, in fact, number 6, I should have probably read this tweet thread before I started recording. Twitter denied that it does such things. In 2018, Twitter's Vijaya Gadde, remember the woman who cried on the Zoom call? Then head of legal policy and trust, and Kayvon Bekpua, sorry about the pronunciation, not my area of strength. Head of product said, quote, we do not shadow ban. They added, quote, and we certainly don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints or ideology. Hang on a minute. Now, I know we're pretty early into this video, but I'm pretty sure do not amplify, search blacklist, trends blacklist. I think anyone who has a brain would understand this to be shadow banning. And regarding political biases here, remember, bankrupt your business, stifle your children's development. It's for your protection. Definitely wasn't a political thing there. It's just so happens that just about everybody who thought in a certain way politically thought, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Then we see a right-wing talk show host and another conservative activist, all one end of the political spectrum being suppressed. At the same time, Twitter's doing one thing. They're talking out the other side of their mouth, saying they do not shadow ban and they don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints or ideology. What a load of horse. Quote, what many people call shadow banning, Twitter executives and employees call visibility filtering. Oh, that's right. That's how they can lie about it. We don't shadow ban. We visibility filter, which is the same thing. Or VF. Multiple high-level sources confirmed its meaning. 8. Quote, think about visibility filtering as being a way for us to suppress what people see to different levels. That's a very powerful tool, one senior Twitter employee told us. Sure f***ing is. 9. VF refers to Twitter's control over user visibility. It used VF to block searches of individual users, to limit the scope of a particular tweet's discoverability, to block select users' posts from ever appearing on the trending page, and from inclusion in hashtag searches. 10, and this is the real f***ed up part, all without users' knowledge, okay? This is just so malicious and deceptive. You would assume, you would think, right, that Twitter would at least notify an account, hey, you're shadow banned, you're blocked, you can't be searched for because you did X, Y, or Z. This never happened because no reason was necessary, other than some woke wanker at Twitter having their panties in a twist and deciding, I don't like this dickhead, go on. Quote, we control visibility quite a bit, and we control the amplification of your content quite a bit. And normal people do not know how much we do, one Twitter engineer told us. 2 additional Twitter employees confirmed. The group that decided whether to limit the reach of certain users was the Strategic Response Team, Global Escalation Team, or the SRT GET, often handled up to 200 cases a day. I mean, the fact that there's a fucking team dedicated to meddling in people's ability to... just f***ed up. But there existed a level beyond official ticketing. Now, this is super up. Beyond the rank and file moderators following the company's policy on paper. That is, quote, the Site Integrity Policy Escalation Support, known as SIP. We are fucking with these acronyms. Now this, please, I mean, this is so f***ed up. This secret group included Head of Legal, Policy and Trust, Vijaya Crybaby Gadde, the Global Head of Trust and Safety, Yoel Roth, let's not go there, subsequent CEO Jack Dorsey and Parag Agrawal, and others. This is where the biggest, most politically sensitive decisions got made. Quote, think high follower count. Controversial, another Twitter employee told us. For these, quote, there would be no ticket or anything. In other words, they didn't even want any evidence on the back end. So secret that literally no evidence exists for anything having even happened to this account. Secret shadow banning infrastructure beyond even that. Think about that for a moment. One of the accounts that rose to this level of scrutiny was Libs of TikTok, an account that was on the trends blacklist and was designated as do not take action on user without consulting with SIPPES. Now, this is f***ed up. This is a brilliant account, by the way. Hilarious. Taking some of the dumbest shit people say, clipping that up, no commentary necessary. Just bunch of clips of dumbasses saying dumb shit. Clearly quite popular too, with well over 1 million followers. Enjoying watching dumbasses say dumb shit. And discussing and debating the dumb shit that's being said. This is how we improve our thinking. This is how we grow as a culture and as a civilization. Okay? Debate, discuss, derision, humor, mockery, ridicule. This is how you deal with dumb ideas. Libs of TikTok is a perfect example of short-form content compilations of almost entirely dumb ideas. Great way for mocking and ridiculing dumb ideas. Again, this is how we think and grow. Now check this out. High profile. There's a tag for high profile. And then Twitter's meddling. Notification spike. Trends blacklist. Recent blue spikes. Twitter blue verified. Multiple count, strike count, blah, 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 blah. Look at this. At the very top here. Do not take action on user without consulting blah, 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 blah. Now again, libs as in liberals, as in left-leaning. So this account is compiling dumb shit said by people who lean on the political left. And I'm not saying everyone on the political left's dumb. I'm just saying this is a compilation of dumb shit people with leftist views have. You could do the exact same thing. Conservatives of TikTok saying dumb shit in compilation. Anyone noticing a bit of a political bias here so far in this tweet thread? Punishment on the right, none on the left. Just pointing that out. Which was created in November 2020 and now boasts over 1.4 million followers, was subjected to 6 suspensions in 2022 alone. Each time, the account was blocked from posting for as long as a week. Twitter repeatedly informed the account's owner that she had been suspended for violating Twitter's policy against, quote, hateful conduct. Quick interlude here because, hey dear YouTube, go f*** yourselves. This happened to me. I created a video back in 2010, a viral video of people dancing, right, in churches. A bunch of people dancing, right? I cut that to a death metal song because it was fucking hilarious, like drop on the floor laughing, right? If you like heavy metal, you watch this, you die of laughter. If you don't like metal, not that funny. But the comments on this thing was, this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. This was literally every comment on the whole video. It went super viral. It was my first super viral video. Hundreds of thousands of views. And a couple of years later, out of absolutely nowhere, I think about 2012 or 13, I get an email from YouTube. I get a strike on my account. My video is removed permanently with no ability for me to contest because of hateful conduct. For a video compilation where I mashed up footage of people dancing to a song. The hilarity, of course, it's a death metal song and the people are in a church because church is like the least likely place you'll hear death metal. That made it super funny. The edits were perfect, the timing, I've posted it on Patreon, by the way. If you guys want, just search on Patreon for banned, you'll find it. It's hilarious if you like metal, otherwise not super funny. This video, right, banned, and my account got a strike for hateful conduct. And I couldn't, what the f*** are you idiots talking about, right? Oh, we deemed that hateful conduct, f*** you, any excuse. Right, this is insane. That was almost 10 years ago. And that was a time I realized, holy shit, there's something seriously wrong with these tech companies. What the f*** are you talking about? 2, I can't even respond. I can't contest this insanity. That's bad. So I've been thinking about these issues, suppression and censorship now for the last decade. It's a big issue. But in internal SIP-PES memo from October 2022, after her 7th suspension, the committee acknowledged that Libs of TikTok has not directly engaged in behavior violative of the hateful conduct policy. Now this is really f***ing bad. The account's been suspended like 7 times for quote-unquote hateful conduct, yet there's internal discussion from Twitter here, which we're about to read, saying this account hasn't actually engaged in any hateful conduct, the reason we've been suspending them repeatedly. But we're still going to do it, because f*** you, we're Twitter. Site policy recommendation. Site policy recommends placing Libs of TikTok, 1.3 million followers, not verified, in a 7-day timeout at the account level, meaning not for a specific tweet, based on the account's continued pattern of indirectly violating Twitter's hateful conduct. In other words, by not violating Twitter's hateful conduct policy, but instead mocking and ridiculing people who have similar political beliefs to ourselves. We just don't like it, so we're just going to ban them anyway. I mean, it's like they're literally admitting here they don't actually violate the hateful conduct policy, but we're going to make the excuse indirectly violate. Fuck you guys. By tweeting content that either leads or intends to incite harassment against individuals and institutions that are dumbasses who say dumb shit. Notice how, of course, they're framing this, that support LGBTQ communities. This is a load of bullshit, okay? Libs of TikTok. It's about dumb shit people say with insane political views. Doesn't matter what they're about. Dumb shit liberals say. Just like I said, there could be a dumb shit conservative say account, right? It's not promoting harassment against any it's not promoting harassment. If you say dumb shit in public, on the internet, people are allowed to discuss the shit that you have said and say that it is dumb shit. That's not intending to incite harassment on individuals with any particular causes. It's intending to incite discussion around dumb ideas. This type of enforcement action, repeated 7-day timeouts at the account level, will not lead to permanent suspension. However, should Libs of TikTok engage in any other direct tweet level violations of any of the site's policies, by the way, remember, they're claiming now, even though they've said earlier here that this doesn't actually violate Twitter's hateful conduct policy, they're claiming it indirectly does, therefore it does. And then in the following paragraph, should the account engage in any other tweet level violations of any site policies, other as if it already has, even though they're admitting here it hasn't, we will move forward with permanent suspension. In other words, If we can come up with any conceivable way to say that indirectly violated some other policy, permanently suspended. Which happened, by the way. Assessment. Since its most recent timeout, while Libs of TikTok has not directly engaged in behaviour violative of the hateful conduct policy, read this shit, listen, it's so important. The user has continued targeting individuals / ally supporters of the... They're trying to pretend that this is some anti-gay home... It's not! But of course, this is the excuse they conjure up to themselves to ban this account. The committee justified her suspensions internally by claiming her posts encourage online harassment of hospitals and medical providers by insinuating, quote, that gender-affirming healthcare is equivalent to child abuse or grooming. Compare this to what happened when Rachel, owner of the Libs of TikTok account, herself was doxxed on November 21, 2022. A photo of her home with her address was posted in a tweet that has generated more than 10,000 likes. When Rachel told Twitter that her address had been disseminated, she says that Twitter support responded with this message. Sucked in, bitch. You said we don't like. Get fucked. Sorry, I misread that. We reviewed the reported content and didn't find it to be in violation of the Twitter rules. No action was taken. The doxing tweet is still up. Can you imagine how fucked up this is? These heinous motherfuckers at Twitter, conjuring up excuses to ban an account. This poor girl is doxed online. Tells Twitter, hey, I've been doxed, can you help? They said, no, we can't, you, it doesn't violate our policies. Are you serious? Here's a correspondence. Hello, thanks for reaching out. We reviewed the reported content and didn't find it to be in violation of Twitter rules. In this case, no action will be taken at this time. Unbelievable. In internal Slack messages, Twitter employees spoke of using technicalities to restrict the visibility of tweets and subjects. Here's Yoel Roth, Twitter's then global head of trust and safety, in a direct message to a colleague in early 2021. Well, this is going to be good. A lot of times, SI has used technicality spam enforcements as a way to solve a problem created by safety under enforcing their policies. Which again, isn't a problem per se. I mean, get f***ed, you idiot. Sure is a problem. Isn't a problem per se, but it keeps us from addressing the root cause of the issue, which is that our safety policies need some attention. In other words, wouldn't it be great if we could just have a policy that says if you say anything that we don't like, especially politically, we'll just censor you. And it's in our policy, so hey, it's there. We're not violating anything, we're not doing anything sketchy, it's in our policy, so f*** you. You don't like it? Too bad. Say something we don't like, get f***ed. That's our prerogative. This is what Yoel's really trying to get at here. 6 days later, in a direct message with an employee on the health missive, oh boy, here we go. I might get banned from YouTube if I read this tweet. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to read it anyway because I didn't give a f***. On the health, misinformation, privacy, and identity research team, Roth requested more research to support expanding, quote, non-removal policy interventions like disabling engagements and de-amplification / visibility filtering. Oh, Yoel. One of the biggest areas I'd love research support on is regarding non-removal policy interventions like disabling engagements and de-amplification / visibility filtering. In other words, fucking with accounts that we don't like. Imagine not being able to like a tweet, not being able to retweet a tweet, not being able to comment on a tweet, not being able to find a tweet, not being able to search for a tweet. This is what he's talking about right now. The hypothesis underlying much of what we've implemented is that if exposure to, e.g., misinformation directly causes harm, you know, the dangerous information like, hey, you should probably be getting enough vitamin D, and hey, if you're not fat, old, unhealthy, whew, nearly got myself cancelled here on YouTube. Shit, that was close, Stephen. Oh, jeez. Good thing I didn't finish that thought, did I? Yeah, that's good. Head over to Patreon for more unfiltered thoughts. We should use remediations that reduce exposure, and limiting the spread / virality of content is a good way to do that by just reducing prevalence overall. We got Jack on board with implementing this for civic integrity in the near term, but we're going to need to make a more robust case to get this into our repertoire of policy. Oh my god, dude. Dude. Oh, I just can't, man. We've got a quote here. We've just read that, so let's skip over that one. Got Jack on board, blah, blah, blah. Also read that one. There is more to come on this story. Keep up with this unfolding story here at our brand new website. The authors have broad expanding access to Twitter's files. The only condition we agreed to was that the material would first be published on Twitter. We're just getting started on our reporting. Oh, this is going to be good. Documents cannot tell the whole story here. A big thank you to everyone who has spoken to us so far. If you are a current or former Twitter employee, we'd love to hear from you. Please write to blah, blah, blah. Before we go any further, remember, the internet never forgets. Here's a tweet from Yoel Roth. We just saw many messages from, right? Now, I'm not judging here, but here's a tweet that he made back in 2010. Can high school students ever meaningfully consent to sex with their teachers? Interesting question. Now, I'm not suggesting that there's anything here. I'm just saying this is something that this guy was tweeting about, asking some questions. Nothing wrong with asking questions, by the way. A tweet, discussion, it's not endorsement of an idea, but just putting that out there. In addition, Elon Musk responds, this explains a lot, and continues to do some digging. Elon tweeting this. Looks like Yoel is arguing in favour of children being able to access adult internet services in his PhD thesis. But it's worth considering how, if at all, the current generation of popular sites of gay networked sociability might fit into an overall queer social landscape that increasingly includes individuals under the age of 18. Even with the service's extensive content management, Grindr may well be too lewd or too hookup oriented to be safe and age-appropriate resource for teenagers. I mean, for those that don't know Grindr, I'm not an expert. You know, I've only hooked up with a few guys enough. Just kidding. We all know the stereotypes about men and sex. This is why women are so picky and choosy about who they If you thought Tinder was a hookup app, just imagine what happens when it's a bunch of horny guys on the same app. Let's leave it at that. All the gay guys watching know exactly what I'm talking about. But the fact that people under 18 are on these services already, illegally I might add, indicates that we can't readily dismiss these platforms out of hand as loci for queer youth culture, rather than merely trying to absolve themselves of legal responsibility, or worse, trying to drive out teenagers entirely. Hold up a minute, Hanky Hanson. So Yoel here is suggesting, rather than trying to absolve themselves of responsibility, or worse, stop people under 18 using these apps, because that's the worst outcome, stopping people underage using these apps that aren't appropriate. Or worse, trying to drive out teenagers entirely. Service providers should instead focus on crafting safety strategies that can accommodate a wide variety of use cases for platforms like Grindr, including possibly their role in safely connecting queer young adults. Now, call me old-fashioned, call me a dinosaur if you will, but I don't believe that anybody under 18 should be on any of these dating apps. I mean, hello, you're in school, you're in college. There's human beings you can interact with in real life. Now, these are the people you should be hooking up with. This doesn't show any malice, but it does show some interesting thinking about age, consent, and sexuality. Let me ask the parents watching. Would you like your 14-year-old daughter on a dating app? Your 15-year-old son? Especially something like Grindr? The ultimate of all hookup apps? Now, the reason I ask the question is, generally speaking, most people are legally considered an adult at age 18. Most people can't drink alcohol or vote if they're under 18. But it's okay for them to be lured into the bedroom of a horny dude? Sure, no problems. I think Elizabeth's meme here says it all. My thoughts? Exactly. It's worth keeping in mind, as of 2022, year-to-date political donations to Democrats and Republicans in the United States from Twitter employees, which are publicly disclosed, over 99% of all political donations in dollar amount have gone to Democrats from Twitter employees. In 2022, if we extrapolate this data, probably safe to say that approximately 99+% of the people who were working at Twitter while this was going on voted Democrats in the most recent election and will vote Democrats again in the future. Now, this in and of itself isn't a problem, but when we look at the suppression and censorship of certain accounts, all of which are, quote, the other side politically speaking, it makes you wonder. The gall of these fuckfaces at Twitter to censor one side of the conversation, to openly admit this account actually hasn't really violated any policies, but we're going to ban them anyway, to have evidence now that this was happening behind the scenes. Now we no longer sound like we're tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists because the fucking data's there. It is absolutely unbelievable and shameful. And it's still happening. If I do enough on Patreon to piss off the woke CEO, guess what? Gone. YouTube. Still things I can't say here. True or not, doesn't matter. How dare YouTube impose policies where I can't state things as if they're true, even if they're wrong, even if they're false. Let's just go extreme. Let's imagine it's 1,000 years ago, but somehow we magically have the internet. And we still haven't figured out that the sun doesn't revolve around the earth. In fact, the earth orbits the sun. Just imagine we still didn't know that. And I start up on a YouTube account and I'm like, hey guys, I'd just like to present the scientific case for why I believe that the earth is in fact orbiting around the sun due to its gravitational pull, distorting space-time. Let me explain. You know what would happen? I'd get instantly banned for disinformation because I made a claim about reality that's obviously not true, because everyone knows that the sun goes around the earth because it says so in the religious text that we have, that, you know, that's how things are. It's obviously not true, therefore no one's allowed to even say the fucking thing. This is the exact same shit these motherfuckers are doing today. History doesn't repeat itself, but it sure does rhyme. This is why I get so riled up about censorship and suppression of people's ability to freely share their thoughts, opinions, and ideas. I don't care if you're wrong. I don't care if you're a moron. I don't care if I disagree with your opinion. Let people say what they think and believe, even if they're wrong, and then discuss why they're right or why they're wrong. This is how we improve our knowledge, learn, and grow. If people can't even have the conversation, if an account like Libs of TikTok can't be pointing out the absurdity of some of the most left-leaning people, some of the dumb shit they're saying, if they can't even point out the absurdity and try to help people improve their thinking, we make no progress. This is so incredibly dangerous. And the worst thing is that most people can't see it. Oh, so what? They censored a few accounts. Big fucking deal. People who react like that are dangerously stupid. I'm sure we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming soon, but I needed to cover this again. If it doesn't apply directly to just think. I mean, just imagine, for example, in the future, a new mild cold evolves and a few people get a sniffly nose and, oh, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Woo! Nearly got myself cancelled again. I'm just trying to say, just imagine in the future, but something a little bit more important than mocking idiots for saying dumb stuff, aka Libs of TikTok. Just imagine there's something a little bit more important, that there's a little bit more at stake, like the development of children, the ability to spend time with friends and family, to see your grandparents one last time. Just imagine something far more important and consequential takes place, and the arbiters of truth at social media and big tech collude with government and big pharma and start censoring and suppressing people's ideas and opinions on other such subjects. Boy oh boy, the consequences could be horrific. People who'd slaved away, worked their entire adult lives to build up a family business could be forced into bankruptcy without any choice or recourse. People could be traumatized, being unable to see family, friends, unable to cross state borders, get stranded overseas and not be able able to get back to their f***ing country of birth. Yes, I'm talking to you, Australia, motherfuckers. Just imagine that if something a little bit more serious and consequential were to take place in the future, yet we still have tech companies like this, unilaterally censoring one side of the conversation that doesn't violate their policies, but just inventing reasons to censor them and shut them up so people can't even hear the other side. That is why I so passionately defend people's ability to freely share their thoughts, opinions, and ideas. It's not about this one event or that one event. It's about where this road leads. To hell. And on that sobering note, you thought this was on the edge? Just wait till you see what's over on Patreon. By the way, I'm sorry, I lied to you guys unintentionally, but I've been saying there's over 330 exclusive videos. I lost count. There's actually 345 exclusive videos and counting. So just putting that out there. I've been underquoting the amount of exclusive videos. I guess I've been posting so much so often, I just lost count. My apologies. And one final note. Watch how the media covers the Twitter files. You'll learn everything you need to know about the biases and the political leanings of media outlets by seeing how this is covered. Oh, it's a big nothing burger. Something like that, a response like that. That is not a news organisation that has your best interests at heart. That is an organisation that cares only about purveying the one true narrative and completely suppressing the other side of the conversation. Now, there is some good news. There is light at the end of the tunnel. We can end on a very positive note. There is one big tech company, a single big tech company, whose core ideology is freedom of speech, rather than suppression of ideas we don't like. This is why the attacks are coming thick, hard, and fast from everywhere. Elon. Twitter, this guy. Hate speech impressions are up. Researchers get Again, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again, because it's so important you guys need to keep your eyes open. You do it for long enough, and somebody like me suddenly transforms from crazy conspiracy theorist, take your tinfoil hat off, man, you were actually right the whole time. Watch what happens. Watch the attacks upon Elon Musk and Twitter. Everyone is exposing themselves right now. There are people who are very supportive, people being able to freely share their thoughts, opinions, and ideas, and there's everyone else. There's morons in academia, vapid Hollywood celebrities who care more about being perceived to be a good person than anything else, hence why they're Hollywood celebs in the first place. You've got politicians, you've got media outlets, across the board, attacking and demonizing Elon Musk, and saying the most absurd things, like allowing people to freely share their thoughts and opinions and ideas is a threat to free speech. Take note, ladies and gentlemen. This is perfect. You've got a gigantic list of dangerous companies, dangerous people, dangerous organizations, dangerous ideologies, one after the other outing themselves in desperation, because they know they're losing control of their grip on the one true narrative. Elon's acquisition of Twitter may in fact be the most consequential professional decision of his entire career. And I don't say that lightly. I understand the impact of Tesla. I understand the impact of making life multiplanetary. But I'm also one of the few people who seem to recognize how dangerous the path we were on actually is. I cannot count the number of people who've rage quit this channel. I see in the comments below, people losing their minds. They're gone. They'll never be back. They'll never wake up. Their eyes are going to be forever closed, and that's fine. The reason I discuss these things, knowing full well how mad people are going to get, I mean, Patreon's a perfect example. I post Patreon videos all the time, and every time I post a Patreon video, someone gets mad and offended, actually quite a few people, and they rage quit. I know the topics that are going to cause butthurt and controversy, yet I still share my mind. My closing message to everyone watching is to do the same. When you hear bullshit, don't stay quiet. Somebody has an insane ideology, dangerous thinking, and you know it's dangerous or insane. Say something, do something. Don't be a little bitch. Anyway, see you over on Patreon if you think you can handle it. Love ya.